Microphone check. Break and finish live comment section, testing sound. Good evening, according to your time zone, but for most of you that are watching from Africa, good afternoon to you. Welcome back to Billiards Cafe. Now you are watching so far what is the biggest match of the tournament. It's coming only as early as Life 1, Round 2. Two of the tournament favorites get to sort out each other, with one of them having to exit one of the tournament's first life in the next 30 to 40 to 50 minutes respectively. Yes, arguably two of the best players in their respective countries, and yes, two of the finest that the African continent does offer today. On table, the reigning Q Masters International champion Royd Kabwe from Zambia, the home player, against the Grand Mchana reigning champion Caesar Chandiga, Uganda's finest. The race is 9, with one frame having been played so far to completion. That has been won by the Ugandan Scorpion, who leads by 1 frame to nil, racing to 9. There is a little stroke of luck, way more than a stroke of genius, by Caesar, who got to miss a yellow to the center pocket right big, but got it slid right against both red and black. In a moment of luck, the Scorpion leads by 2 frames to 0, racing to 9 for a place in the round of last 32 in their first life. This is how it will be, dear viewers. I do believe that you are enjoying the action that is coming all your way. Special thanks to the management of Billiards Cafe. Special thanks to the organizing committee. Special thanks to the Zambia Pool Union for having this action for us. It has been well anticipated. It's one of the most loved pool competition. It's one that sees us through the end of the year. Normally, this one is in its 4th edition. And yes, the first edition won by the Ugandan Ibrahim Sejemba. Then it was not called Billiards Cafe. It was sponsored by the Honorable Matthew Ngulube, so it was called the Matthew Ngulube International Competition. The 2nd edition won by Stanford Griven Ginte. The 3rd edition won by Eden Joseph. This is edition number 4. And from wherever you're watching, most especially from within Zambia and all the way to Uganda, the players' respective countries, in a special way, I like to welcome you. The management teams of both of these players, for Royd Kabwe, Q Masters for Caesar, the ATA. I welcome you to the stream as the Ugandan Scorpion looks to win a 3rd frame against a player that has defeated him twice out of the last 2 times. One of them was the final of the curtain raising comp of this very competition that was held last year right at this venue. It was won by Royd. I would like not to forget, I beg your pardon, there was a 2nd time in the curtain raising match, curtain raising 60-man comp that happened at Q Masters early this year. That Q Masters event was won by Royd, but in the final of the curtain raising event, Caesar defeated Royd to win that 16-man comp. And then, of course, they got to meet off in the biggest match that they have ever gotten to meet off, the final of the Q Masters International Carnival. What a race to 9. What a victory by Royd Kabwe by 9 frames to 6. I will never ever forget the fans' craze after Royd won. I don't remember ever a celebration bigger than that. He was in Tanzania. The Tanzanians loved him, and remember, Tanzania does share a border with Zambia, so there was an influx of Zambians and yes, Tanzanians, because Royd plays for the Q Masters team that is based in Dar es Salaam. There was joint celebration for 2 countries. It is frame number 3, this one, with the players showing their defensive antics. Caesar on reds, Royd on yellows. The prize for trying to win is to make it into the round of last 32 and with 2 lives intact. Remember, in the first round of the second life, if I did see the chart well, I do remember Caesar having to face off with Malvan Makonza. Now the tournament looks like it's ending, and yet it's only just beginning. Having matches like that, I do think that today we may be conditioned to play 1 life, and then tomorrow the second life, and then Sunday latter stages of both lives. Maybe Saturday it will be, and then Sunday we play both lives to completion, and then a grand final. The competition is being played on double life basis. It is possible for one player to take positions number 1 and 2 from the prize bracket. Any positions in the top 8 can be taken by one player. It could be 1 and 8, 2 and 6, 1 and 7, 3 and 5, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, anything of the sort. As the Scorpion aims to play red into red by connection to the corner pocket bottom right. He plays red into red but doesn't pot. Royd can get a chance to play. And once again, dear viewers, a competition in its early rounds will never ever get any better than Royd versus Caesar. Never will it be. The race is just 9. I will not only say 9, it is as long as 9. They have a lot of history between themselves, Royd and Caesar. Caesar, especially after maturing as a renowned player, moving from his country of Uganda, becoming resident in Zambia for the better part of the 2 years between 2020 up to 2022, playing for the Sharks Pool Club and playing weekly comps at this venue, Billiards Cafe, coming the better of Royd for most of the times that they faced off, becoming the toss of Zambian pool. returning to the country of Uganda late in 2022, winning even more. Since then, getting to face off against Royd the 3 times I have just told you, with Royd winning twice and Caesar once. Oops, I've even forgotten another. In fact, in the last edition of this very competition, last year in December, same venue, same table, first round, first life, the match between Royd and Caesar, racing to 9, ended in a 9-7 victory for Royd. Therefore, Caesar's better performances against Royd came when Caesar was resident in Zambia playing with Sharks. Since then, it has been Royd winning thrice and Caesar once in the last 4 times that they have faced off. Now here is a scratch by Caesar and a chance for Royd to win a first frame for himself in the match. He's wearing a very serious face, representing 2 countries at the same time. Of course, his home country, Zambia, but also for the fact that he's representing Q Masters for a pool team, he's representing Tanzania as well. And yet right now, down by 2-0, playing a free shot and not so effective. He needs some kind of recovery. You would fancy he will want to play another safety with the intention not to allow Caesar sight of the red that is in space. I'm sorry. Now, after Caesar banking red successfully, there was no choice. There was no chance that he could find the sight of the would be remaining 1 red on the table. When it is not possible to play a legal shot, it is a stalemate. However, yes, it is a stalemate. I was doubting what the players were arguing amongst themselves. It is a stalemate. I don't know if they've interpreted the rules very well. If the stalemate is by design, the players have to lag again to determine who breaks the frame, and it has to be a rack of 9 object balls, 4 reds and 4 yellows, this case blues. If the stalemate comes accidentally, like I think it has come in the frame that has just ended, the same player breaks again, and it's a full rack of balls. That is why we are seeing a full rack of balls again, and I think it will be the same player breaking. Here comes Royd. Surely this time Royd, he came short. It's a frame he should have won, getting a very good opportunity with a cue ball in hand with a free shot and yet failing to win what was a relatively easy frame. He has himself getting vindicated by making a clearance of the stalemate after a dry break by his opponent, and will be putting black to the center pocket left for him to record the first win of the match. In a race to 9, it is Royd Kabwe now 1 and Caesar Chandiga 2. Here comes Royd, ladies and gentlemen, wanting to do exactly what he did on the same exact table against the same exact player in the same exact round last year in the same exact competition that was in its 3rd edition. In that competition, Royd got to defeat Caesar in 1 life, and then Caesar getting to be defeated by the eventual winner Aiden in the 2nd life. This time round, Royd is a little bit suspect. A few times he's missing balls. You wouldn't expect him to miss on a normal day. This is not a normal day. It is a big match against a big player on the big stage. Yet the big player has a point to prove. Last time out, that Caesar won a major African comp. It's about 11 months ago, the Grand Mchana Open. Since then, yes, he won a curtain-raising 16-man comp of the Q Masters International Carnival. That one, yes, he did win. He also won a post-tournament 16-man comp that was played at Club Timbuktu in Eldoret in Kenya after the Timbuktu International Carnival. Yes, that one he won. He came 2nd in a 16-man comp that was organized by the Grand Mchana just after Q Masters, the comp that was won by Jerry. He has also won a host of many matches thereafter, but for a big African comp coming out victorious, not really. The only international comp that he has truly won right after the Grand Mchana was in yet a different discipline. That is Heibo. He is the current Commonwealth Heibo champion. Who doesn't remember that he defeated India's Shivam Arora in the final of the competition, where he defeated Britain's Chris Smelling in the semi-final. But now there is an all-African derby that is currently happening with one of his major African rivals, Royd Kabwe, making good intent to make it look like he's winning frame number 4 after losing the first 2 and winning the 3rd and coming himself closer to winning the 4th. The pot of the black to the corner pocket top left will give Royd Kabwe a deserved equalizer. having come short in the first two. After the fourth, it is Royd Kabwe 4 and Caesar Chandiga. Sorry, Royd Kabwe 2 and Caesar Chandiga 2. Two guys who are not having a scoreboard, it is 2-2. In case you are not watching the scoreboard, you will be having the audio scoreboard, don't worry. If there is any such word as audio scoreboard,
Oh, yeah, he is. No, I thought you
For the absence of live commentary in the last 5 minutes, I was starting a live stream of another match. Also big, between one big Zambian player, Chileshe Mobanga Chilebebo, and one big player from Uganda, Joseph Kasozi. That one is live on Break and Finish Live YouTube. For now, the Zambian international has grabbed the lead against the Ugandan by 3 frames to 2. Once again, it is 3 frames to 2. Roy Kabwe up now against Chandiga, especially after losing the first 2 frames and winning the next 3 all in a row. How here he is scratching in frame number 6. Most of the time when that happens, there is only one way.
Emma. Save you. One more time. How did they get one?
I'm sure.
How did they get me one?
From wherever you're watching, dear viewers, please pardon my absence for some time. It's because I'm working on streaming another match, which is now live on Break and Finish Live Facebook. Another big one between Joseph Kasozi and Chileshe Mubanga. In that one, they are drawing 2-all. In this one, they are drawing 3-all. But this one is way bigger. You could argue that both players could easily be in this match stronger than both the other side, with all due respect to all of them. 3-3 between Sparks and Scorpion. Intent is Royd to make his name on the African continent even bigger if he's to try and replicate what he did at Q Masters earlier in there when he won that competition. What will be similar if he did is that if he ever did that, it will be him being at home, and yet at home in two countries. In Tanzania, Royd is at home. In Zambia, Royd is at home. Here, home of his blood. In Tanzania, home of his wallet. So for anybody who loves this sport, where will you rather be if a match this big is being played? I thank you, Africa, for always tuning in to watch these games every time that we stream them live. It is the internet uniting the African continent. It is because of live streaming in the first place that these competitions are even possible, because the entire African fraternity is nowadays united in each major African playing country where the sport is played regularly. They are watching, and the need to compare the stars from other countries does inspire the organization of comps like this, which is now having a history which is rooting back now into its fourth year. Now effective play cannot get any better than that from Royd. Caesar needs some kind of recovery. He may want to put one yellow to the corner pocket bottom left, play the cue ball into the red pocket at the corresponding corner pocket bottom right. If he did that, he will be on the verge. He has lacked a little bit of direction of the cue ball, playing it into another red instead. It has become even harder. If we are to pull off a shot from here, which will put the yellow that is near the center pocket left and then get somehow the cue ball into the red, it will be so special, because naturally if you cut a yellow to the center pocket left, cue ball will be played into the red. If he draws it backwards, it is unlikely that it will find either yellow or red packed at the corner pocket bottom right. Whatever he's contemplating, whatever he's thinking, whatever he wants to try out and do, here he is, wanting to cut it sharpers to avoid the red if he's stand any chance. In the end, his intention was perhaps to play yellow into red, maybe off red if we were to ever have a chance of playing combination, which has come short. It is still advantage to the Zambian. It is a tricky looking situation, this one, in a tournament that looks as though it's in the final or semi or quarter final, and yet it is only first round, second life. This match is a direct replica of the final. That's the grand final of the Q Masters International Carnival, and yet in the next international event, we are getting the chance to see a match this big only in the second round. First life, it has big implication. Both players will want to beat each other, of course, for the reason first to qualify into the round of last 32 in the first life, but also to try and take down the player that could give you the hardest possible time when it comes to the latter and business end of the competition. Will Caesar make the bank successful? Yellow off the cushion. Here is the bank, slightly off is the bank. Royd survives. He needs a big shot. He has gotten opportunities to win the frame. Caesar is showing his fighting antics in the driest spell that I have ever seen of Caesar, and you are listening to someone that has been streaming his matches for the last 6 years, not just his, but also other players. But mostly, he probably has the hugest amount of streams because he reaches the finals more than any other player in his local country, Uganda. And for the fact that finals and semis and quarters are streamed, he gets the hugest amount of streams. I've never seen him go close to 2 months without winning a comp. His only win in the last 2 months was a money match between himself rematching with fellow Ugandan Hazard just before flying out to Zambia with Rwanda Airways. What can Ray do about this situation? The Q Masters player has moved the cue ball as close can be to the would-be bird of the two reds left on the pool table. What would be a big shot from him is if we were to play red right against the rail, try and put it to the corner pocket top right for him to put himself on the verge of winning a fourth frame out of 7. He's feeling the pressure. The shot is not that difficult. It is just the stage and the implication. There he gets it in. Well. Fighting like a wounded buffalo is Sparks. The Q Masters champion is, yes, on the verge of once again taking the lead in one of the most now tightly contested matches in the competition, if the first 7 frames are anything to go by. Also the most viewed. Yes, it is in. The rest is just a formality.
What's good? Camera. They are asking who is breaking it. 4-3-4. Right.
The other Zambian-Ugandan match between the player that was Zambia's number 1, Chileshe Mubanga Chilebobo, is at 4-2. He leads against the Ugandan Joseph Kasozi. Same round, also racing to 9. But the more highly anticipated one is the one that we are enjoying between the Sparks and the Scorpion, with the Sparks leading by 4-3, with the Scorpion playing what looks like could be once again his equalizing frame. I want to think his intention is to play the red that is bottomwards first, but maybe the cue ball will not be good enough. He will therefore play it, in my opinion, last. Now has to move the cue ball towards the bottom right end of the table, playing it right against the cushion left, then moving it bottom left rightwards, just like that. And to his advantage, there's still a cut between cue ball and red, to the effect that when he puts it to the bottom left corner pocket, cue ball moves towards just around the middle of the table, but a little bit leftwards. Just like that, the rest is a formality. Caesar 4, Royd 4, rest to 9. Second round, first life. Thank you for watching. Michelo Kapandula asking about the scores. It is 4-3 once again. So sorry, 4-4 drawing. They are drawing the two players. That means they are now officially racing to 5. Lonyanda and Tombela. You say Aiden is Africa's one, but Royd and Caesar are gonna rule soon. Okay. That's your opinion. I do respect it. Chigozi Idi. You are asking how Kasozi did perform. The match between Joseph Kasozi and Chileshe Mubanga is live on Break and Finish Live Facebook. Just a change of streaming platform, and you are watching it live. You can as well decide to apply the split screen. Those of you who want to watch Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Those of you who have very good phones like BK Forex probably have the split screen naturally implanted into your phone. But even if you don't have, you can go to where you buy your apps, either the Apple Store or Play Store. Then you type split screen, and then you download any version of split screen. Once you download, you just follow the prompts. One app at the top, one app at the bottom. Then you go to the channel or page where you want to watch from, and thereafter at the top of your screen does show one app, could be YouTube, then the bottom shows another app, could be Facebook, and then you are good to go watching two matches at the same time. One of them is having the Scorpion attempting to win a 5th out of 9. In no shade of a doubt, the most toughly contested match of the competition so far. The two are very easily considered two of the favorites. They are cancelling out each other now. The Scorpion going for a combination shot, trying to put both yellow and red to the same corner pocket, which is done with ease. When it's done with ease, the rest will always be a formality. It is him gaining yet another frame to improve his score, to make himself a likely winner. There he goes, potting black to the corner pocket, bottom right. It's bottom left. The Scorpion 5 and Sparks 4.
Sam ran away from Sam. Sam big run, no. He ran away. Doing comedy. So Peter, how are you? I am lucky with network. What would I tell these people if the network was bad?
It's a lot of big guys, big name players on tables. I'll be moving around the tables to get you updates. I can see Ginte on table, Kelvin on table, Chileshe on table, Kasozi on table, Jeffrey on table, Dog City on table. Zama, it's called Mzamo on table. And then the two Zim youngsters, Richard Mishobe and Pakanat Jimo, are fortunately or unfortunately facing off against each other on one of the tables. By the way, for whatever reason, in almost all of the matches, Ugandans have been pitted against Zambians. Almost all, and I'm meaning almost all. Maybe all for the first two rounds, besides the two Ugandans that are facing off against each other, Geoffrey Setumba and Rashid Wagaba. There has been one Zambian victory against Uganda's Uthman Bukenya. The rest of the Ugandans won in the first round. The second round is still underway. If I'm not mistaken, Chileshe Mubanga is now in the lead against Joseph Kasozi. But Caesar leads against Royd by 5 frames to 4. Song Consolation 999. You're asking how many Zimbabweans are in the comp. The registration figures were quite high. It were 25 registered. I'm not so certain all of them are involved, but yes, Zimbabwe has the highest number of traveling players into the competition, and they are doing not so bad, at least so far. Katlo Basinyi, thank you for watching. Asking for the score, it is 5-4. Caesar leading against Royd, racing to 9. Second round, first life. Now, Washa engineer asking what is second life. Okay, maybe I can make this explanation. The tournament is a double life championship. That means every player has 2 lives. A life is a chance to play. You can call it a match. When you're defeated, you have a second chance to play. Now, about 100 players were drawn into one chat. Then the same players were drawn into yet another chat. The winner of one chat will take on the winner of another chat to determine who will contest the final. So today we are playing only one chat, but the same players were drawn in yet another chat. That is what is called the second life, or we call it double life competition. It is different from double elimination. In double elimination, still it is 2 lives, or players have double lives, but in double elimination there is a winners category and a losers category. The second life is for players who have lost their first life. But in double life, every player has 2 lives, has a life each on either side of the chart. In double elimination, there is one chart for the winners, those who have not yet lost a match. Then there is a losers chart of those that have lost their first life. I hope you are getting the difference. Roger, thank you for explaining it even better. And Moira for asking where Gente is. Gente is playing. Maybe at some time you can even watch him peripherally playing. I'll be giving you updates on his match. Ginte is playing against a Zambian called Chilolo. They have played so far 7 frames and Ginte leads by 7 frames to 3. I do believe that I have answered you. Karanga asking if Hazard came for the competition. He did not. The Ugandans involved in this: Caesar Chandiga, Joseph Kasozi, Ian Kazim Habat, Mokisa Geoffrey Setumba, Rashid Wagaba, Dog City, Dennis Ongom. 8 of them in number. It is one of them that has lost one of his lives. Is called Uthman Kenya. 5-4. The Scorpion leading small. He's intending to utilize this ongoing frame, playing yellows to establish a 2-frame cushion for the very first time for any of these players in this match. When he plays yellow, he's looking at, he wants the cue ball to be played into the red. That is rightwards of the 4. Play cue ball into the red. I think it will be perfect. A bounce of the cue ball off the cushion gives him pretty much natural white for black, as long as he has right English on the cue ball. In the same shot, he has to make sure that he does spot. It is not as easy as it looks. He also has to avoid getting snookered behind the reds. That's why he is applying the right English, like you can see on the cue ball. He seems off target. He's actually on target, could get the cue ball sunk. He escapes by a whisker. He's disappointed in himself. It's written all over his facial expression and body language. He will want to cut black sharp to the center pocket right for him to establish the 2-frame cushion that he's been craving for throughout the course of the frame. It has to be a sharp cut. Cue ball played into the red, goes for the bank and gets the bank and establishes the lead of 2 frames. Caesar Chandiga 7. Caesar Chandiga 6 and Roy Kabwe 4. And yes, break and finish. The score is 6 frames to 4. Caesar leading. 2 minutes timeout for Royd.
enough time that big games will be here.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's the one that's
So for me, I'm thinking that for the first day, maybe 2 days, because they are, you need to move the camera around your boys. Then round of last 16,
two streams, one there, one here.
yes, one. You saw they bring your boys there.
I'm telling them, but they're not. These guys, they just TikTok.
You fix somewhere good enough. Your thing is long. You need a microphone.
How much space do you need? For a stand?
Now imagine if this game we put on
You're on YouTube.
too late.
Time in. You are watching the continuation of so far the biggest match of this mega championship that is happening here at Billiards Cafe, Kulima Tower, Central Lusaka. One of Zambia's finest, arguably the finest, Raid Kabwe today. After perfecting a combination shot well played, risky it was, the Scorpion overcoming the risk, now on the verge of winning yet another. He's going for more difficult shots where there was an easier option. He does get himself vindicated when he gets them right. Now on the verge of potting black for 4 frames, outplaying his opponent, and now leading by 7 frames to 4 in this race to 9.
It's okay there. It's okay here.
We had a temporary network glitch. I hope now you guys, you have recovered the video.
On 11%.
Thank you for watching live from Kakamega School in Western Kenya. You're supporting your neighbor, Caesar, you say to the world, but from Kakamega, Dar es Salaam, where Royd is based, is also neighbors with you. I'm joking, you can support a player of your choice. Roger, you say Royd is dry breaking and it's costing him. Thank you for watching. Davis Ahumuza watching the Scorpion seemingly on the verge of grabbing a 4-frame lead, putting himself perhaps within 1 more frame of what will be a long awaited victory, what will be a statement victory that he is in Lusaka to mean business first. He must win a frame and then another. He leaves himself some kind of cut between white and black, which he'll want to put to the corner pocket top left of the screen. He knows, Royd knows the crowd knows that the frame is gone away from Royd. Chandiga, Caesar 8 and Royd Kabwe 4. 5 frames to go. Royd Kabwe must win them all or else succumb to revenge by the Scorpion.
Let me share it. Already.
The live stream is having the Scorpion hopefully for himself breaking for the last time in the match. If he does make a clearance of either the reds or the yellows, that will be it for Royd. Seemingly tempting it is for Caesar to go for the reds. I am not so certain he has a red to put with ease at this to close the table. That is why he's seemingly disturbed by the fact that he has gotten to put 2 reds on the break, leaving all reds positioned so well, and yet it is hard for him to put 1 with ease. Maybe the choice is to play yellow into red, try to close the table by playing connection. From wherever you're watching, as well the Facebook stream on Qpixels Photography looks like could be the final stages of the biggest match of the competition so far. I know that many of you will like it, even if it were to have come as a final. The Scorpion gets to close the table at the very end. There's no easier way to win a frame by break and finish. Also live on break and finish, but perhaps that's what the Scorpion is just about to do. He has a tournament in mind. He has a score to settle. He has a point to prove. Of late, his form has really been wanting. Ever since he became a renowned player, the last 2 months have seen his driest spell. Losing 2 money matches, 1 against South Africa's Ethan, though having head started him with +7, another against fellow Ugandan Caesar, though he won the rematch. He also lost about 6 comps in which he participated, including 2 first-round exits in the double life competition. That was the African Ultimate Pool Championship, so losing out to 2 South Africans, Nyaope as well as Yakub Sheikh respectively. This competition could see him return to what we know of his very best. That little backspin is pretty much the shot that exits Royd's first life in the competition. The Scorpion will want to put red to the center pocket left, but the cut between white and red is relatively big. He has to play it with a lot of precision, but too little power, maybe off yellow to maintain power balance. He almost lost the cue ball, but he will be okay. On the verge of making it into the round of last 32 with 2 lives intact is the Scorpion. That has been a statement performance from one of the tournament favorites. Caesar Chandiga exits Royd by 9 frames to 4. Caesar.